Welcome, folks. Today we're diving into the whimsical world of contract law, starting with the mailbox rule. Buckle up, because this is going to be a fun ride. Mailbox rule doesn't deliver your dreams when you're in the land of unilateral contracts. So, what exactly is the mailbox rule? Well, let's find out. Imagine this. You write a letter that says, "Yes, I want the ice cream." You put it in the mailbox and do a little victory dance. In contract land, that's enough. The second you dropped it in the mailbox, or hit send on a correctly addressed email, it's a done deal. Even if the other person hasn't seen it yet, you've locked it in. You can't say, "Just kidding," later. It's like shooting a Nerf dart. Once it's flying through the air, you can't grab it back. This is called the mailbox rule according to the restatement second of Contracts section 63. Once you send your yes, it's game over. A contract is born. But there's always more to the story, right? Stay tuned. Alright folks, let's talk about unilateral contracts and the mailbox rule. You see, the mailbox rule is all about when acceptance of an offer takes effect, but it's a bit different when we're dealing with unilateral contracts. The mailbox rule doesn't work if you gotta do stuff, also known as unilateral contracts. Now imagine someone says, "If you clean the bathroom by 6 p.m., I'll give you $100. If you just send a text that says, "I accept," but then go back to playing Roblox, guess what? No money for you, no clean toilet, no mailbox rule. Because here's the key, you don't accept this kind of deal by promising, you accept by doing. That's a unilateral contract. The deal isn't sealed until the job is done, so the mailbox rule, it takes a nap in these cases. Desk wars at Riverside Tennis Club. Desk wars at Riverside Tennis Club, the bar exam story. Let's turn the bar exam question into a silly but clear story. Characters: consultant, a tennis player who needs a desk and also loves cheap deals. Supplier, a tennis buddy who sells desks and checks email religiously, except when the server crashes. The timeline: June 3rd. Consultant says, "Deliver your Oakwood desk to me by 10 a.m. on July 8th and I'll pay $1,500. You can't back out." This sounds serious, but it's a unilateral contract. Consultant only pays if the desk gets delivered on time. June 4th. Supplier replies, "Cool, I'll do it." But the email vanishes into the land of server errors and consultant doesn't see it until July 6th. July 5th. Consultant gets sneaky and buys the same desk from another pal for $1,300. He saves money and thinks he's a genius. July 7th. That pal tells supplier, "He bought mine yesterday." July 8th, 9:30 a.m. Supplier shows up with the desk, ready to win the contract. July 8th, 10:30 a.m. Consultant answers the door late and says, "Sorry, I already got one, no thanks." Alright, let's dive into applying the law. So what does the law say? Let's apply the rule. Remember, the mailbox rule means the contract is formed when you send your acceptance, and with a unilateral contract, it's only a contract when you actually do the job. So, was there a contract when the supplier emailed "I accept"? Nope, because this was a unilateral offer and a promise isn't enough. You had to deliver the desk, not just say you would. That means the mailbox rule does not apply here. The consultant could still say nope and buy another desk before the supplier delivered. So, when the supplier showed up on July 8th at 9:30 a.m., too late, since consultant already revoked the offer by buying another desk. It was too bad, so sad. Now let's break this down into legal terms and get to the final takeaway. Mailing of the email by the supplier did not by itself prevent the consultant from later effectively revoking his offer. Translation: just saying "I accept" doesn't work when the deal says, "Show me the desk." Alright folks, here's the final takeaway. If a contract says do it, you can't just say it. And oh boy, if you try to use the mailbox rule to win a unilateral contract, well, you're in for a surprise. Now let's dive into the judge's verdict and wrap things up. Picture this, the judge is going to say, "Nice try, kid, but no delivery, no deal, that's the way it goes." And there you have it. Now you know, in contract land, promises don't move desks. People do. Keep that in mind and you'll be just fine.